Alright, so I'm here to explain retrograde. And so the planet that I was finding it easiest, I mean, I'm sure it's easy to find retrograde through all of them, but I just chose Mars just because that's what we discussed in a lot of the links. So I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, but I've never found words to really condense. Um, so right now I already have Mars highlighted, and as you can see, it's right here where these red little crosshairs are. Currently, I have us placed in Crete, Nebraska, facing south. And this is in 2018 when Mars experienced a retrograde, um, because Mars only experiences a retrograde once every couple of years. So there will not be a retrograde for Mars in the 2019 year. Um, and retrograde happens for the reason that as Earth passes Mars in an orbit. So as we are, like I guess in a sense, getting our orbit is passing around the area where Mars is in its current orbit as well. Um, we will experience seeing Mars go, I guess, in a sense, backwards. Um, and that is what I'm here to show us. So let's get through this daytime part right here. And as we can see, as soon as we come around to it, right now Mars is sitting sort of between Libra and Scorpius. And Mars will follow through sort of through these constellations right here, which are all the astrological signs. You'll see as it keeps going that the astrological signs form sort of a line of a pathway that Mars just follows through on its orbit through the sky that we can see. So let's get going to the next night. But yeah, so as you can see, it's sitting between Libra and Scorpius, and let's move forward. Right now we're sitting February of 2018, so I'm gonna fast forward this to March. Actually, we'll go to April. We'll go to April of 2018, and as you can see, now that we're looking over here, it's already passed through Scorpius, or passed by Scorpius from Libra, and is now sitting um, through the Sagittarius constellation. And it'll continue to move along this way, I guess, as it seems. I guess it seemingly is moving towards the left in a counterclockwise rotation when facing south. That obviously would not be the case if we were facing north. Everything would be flipped around in directional wise. So we're sitting in April. I'm going to fast forward this now fast forward this into probably end of May. That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to end of May. And you can tell, even just moving 2 months, it moved pretty far. It moved through an entire constellation. But pretty soon here is where we're starting to see it slow down, and that is the start of the retrograde. And the retrograde really won't take an effect until approximately end of June. So as you can see, it's not moving near as far. If I had moved like a whole month ahead at the same rate, it probably should have been over here up through Capricorn already, almost to Aquarius. That's not the case because we are about to experience retrograde with Mars. So I'm going to fast forward to about the time where we're getting to it. And so we'll fast forward just one more here. And as you can see, we've entered Capricorn, or the Capricornus constellation. Um, and this is where Mars seems to really stop. It really does. And that's when you start to notice that we're experiencing retrograde. Like we're at the point where it's almost about to start moving backwards, just probably a few days, like a few days from it. So I'm going to go towards, we're going to go like very end of uh, very end of June. So we'll go through the 30th. See, we're still sitting in Capricorns. At the rate of like what we saw earlier, we should have been through that. Now, it was hard for me to find. It just took like a lot of time to keep fast forwarding. But you can still see it's still in the same spot. But if we move a little bit through July, oops, a little bit too far. Oh man, a little bit farther. Sorry, I haven't gotten a hang of this whole Stellarium thing quite yet. But look at this. You can already see that it's moving back the other way, moving backwards, seemingly moving backwards in its orbit, out of Capricorn, back towards Sagittarius. This is the retrograde that we learned about. And if you keep fast forwarding, we'll fast forward all the way through July. And see, now we're back halfway to Sagittarius. I bet you if we move another month towards the end of September, well, that's not the end of September, but we're almost to Sagittarius. Still almost nearly touching Sagittarius, even getting closer to the end of the month. Now it's sitting back in that same spot, so I'm guessing right about here is when we're about to see it exit retrograde and start moving back along its path, which we would think would have what seems to us from our vantage point seems like it's about to move back into its regular orbit, but really it's moving in the same path. Just we happen to be passing by it at this moment in time. So we're going to fast forward just to see this effect. We get through September here, probably right around the 15th is where I'll stop it. Alright, a little farther. As you can see, it's starting to move back towards Capricorn. So if we move, let's say, oh geez, I went way too far on this. We're in 2019 now. That's not where I want to be. Yeah, see, as you can tell, I have not gotten a hold of this. We're going to move into October. And you will see at this point, right here, see, look at this. We are already back into Capricornus. It has exited the retrograde and is now moving back, back along its path through the astrological signs. And we won't see another retrograde from Mars for, I'm guessing, another year or so from today's current date. And yeah, that is me explaining retrograde, and in this case, Mars is retrograde. Sorry for the long video and for you to sit there and bear that, but I will do my best throughout this semester to figure out how to condense my wording and description on trying to get across to my message. But thank you for listening.